Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Every Degree Matters. I'm your host Saffran. We got a lot of exciting and crazy things that has happened in the past week. DOJ has released more files of the Epstein case, and we got more new names and more allegations, or I would say repeated visits of people that have been eh, before they just denied it, and now it's red-handed caught saying lies. The United Kingdom is in big turmoil, a royal turmoil. At the same time, a political turmoil with Keir Starmer, and even in United States, we have here President Trump and his administration trying to deal with the aftermath of what has happened, releasing, and a lot of tech bros is also be part of this Epstein scandal, which is really fascinating. I just tweeted saying that I felt it's very funny to say that tech bros found it really hard to find girls. I think they had to end up having a relationship with Epstein. So we'll talk about that. We also have the Latin America for the first time in Costa Rica. It's shifting towards right. Lauren Sanchez won the presidency. She's a right-wing person, which is also something alarming. Not alarming, I would say. Where the world is moving more towards, I would say. With that, let's get into the topics today and what we want to discuss.
And you wanna write it down? Would it kill you just to listen? And you wanna sell it out with the words out of your position. Hold on. And you wanna see the break of dawn. Brush your hair back from your face. You won't see me when
Thank you so much for joining Every Degree Matters. I'm your host, Saffran. DOJ just released over the weekend, a lot of files related to Epstein files. This is my take, is that you cannot blame, I believe, that if anyone was associating with Epstein after the 2009 conviction as a pedophile, we should be taken into consideration if they've been talking to him after 2009. So there is conversation before 2009 and there's conversation with him after 2009, where you have to see how many of the world leaders, how many of the people were part of this conversation with him. And it looks like co-founder of LinkedIn was there, Reid Hoffman, Elon Musk was also apparently wanted to go to the island. We also saw a couple of people in the UK administration. We also saw Andrew Baltimore. Prince Andrew is no more the prince. Was also part. It's so savage, man. Like, this is so sad to see that we are living in a society where such a horrible thing can happen to a lot of women and children in related to Epstein, and so pathetic. It's so sad. Why on earth would this happen? At the same time, it also alarms the question of how such a guy like Epstein can have so much of influence and connections, and sometimes he looks like intellectually knowledgeable on a lot of things that he's talking about. And there was a lot of blackmailing going around, and there was a lot of what do you say? Uh, where threatening going on using the videos and everything. I believe so, according to the files that has been 3 million of files have been released. And also we saw Bill Gates coming out again. He's been scrutinized, and then he got STD, believe, and he tried to slip in some pills to Melinda Gates, which is really sad, and how the society has moved. And also, it's just, I don't know, it's the last whole week I've been so feeling sick, and I have to say that it's just not the way that I feel normally, because it's just so sad and so evil, a lot of things, and a lot of things that has happened on that island, or in Palm Beach, or in New York City. Why would so many people go out and do that? Like, I understand, like, men need women, but it's just so weird. It's just like, I don't know. And the tech bros, like, come on, guys. Oh my god, why would you like you guys are more advanced and knowledgeable of a lot of things, and you can't be saying that I didn't know about his conviction or anything. Tech world knows a lot before the whole world knows. And we also saw Satya Nadal has met with Epstein. I don't know what that happened was. This is after 2009. Bill Gates have met him a couple of times. Probably would have gone to the island. I don't know. And we also had Bill Clinton has been visiting him a lot. And they have been subpoenaed by the Congress to be summoned, and they wanted to live telecast it, which is great to be whole transparency. I think I feel like first of all we should thank Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey from the Congress to making this effort and bringing limelight to those victims. Unfortunately, it's very sad to hear. It's very sad. At the same time, we also saw a lot of people backtracking and lying, caught red-handed lying. For example, Elon said there was no any connections, and then later found out he wanted to go there. Well, his defense is he wanted to go out there and with his wife at that time, and he was asking what was the wildest party. Like, why would you? I mean, I understand like everybody wants to have a piece of the cake, I believe. I also read through some emails that it says that they were trying to there was auctioning woman, and I also saw that there was a 9 year old, a 19-year-old person. There's a lot of torture happened. God, it's just so bad in all levels, man. I wish it's bad in every single level of humanity. And then I mean, I was posting saying that the United Nations should also cut ties with the Bill Gates Foundation. Anyone involved with Gates Foundation should just cut ties. I think public humiliation. I don't know if those people will be felt accountable, but I feel like more a public humiliation could play a huge role in this aspect where people get tarnished, like Reid Hoffman, for example, or Bill Gates, or Prince Andrew. I mean, former Prince Andrew, or what do you call people that were associated with Epstein, the names that has come forward. Uh, I think we also need to be really careful of protecting the individuals foremost. That's the most important thing, and these are the things that you need to be really careful of what you wanted to say, because I believe DOJ mistakenly has said a lot of things that they didn't deduct the victim's name, but they also deducted a lot of things. There's one particular email that says, "I hope you like the torture video. I want to see who was the sender, who did Epstein send it to." And there's a lot of other names that have popped out: Richard Branson, Kevin Spacey, Andrew Baltimore, Chris Tucker, Mick Jagger, Naomi Campbell, Courtney Love, Philip Collins, Lily Collins' father, main driver, Alec Baldwin, David Copperfield, Reid Hoffman. God, it's just names after names, and a lot of people from the Saudis. Oh, and then also I saw where apparently Epstein received a gift from the piece of the Kaaba, like the Muslims worship that area, the piece of the cloth. It's so weird, bro. Why? Like, it's just the Arab world is like, some of the people in the Arab world is also involved. Man, it's just so daunting, and it's so sad to listen to all this and to see a lot of videos, like horrors videos. Some girls are screaming in the back saying, "Where are you guys taking us?" God, it's just so sad. And I don't know, I think every American that's been seeing this should wake up and see where the society is going, what kind of rituals that stupidly happen in that island, and what kind of people are these. Are they savages? Like, I know humans are savages, but it's just what kind of things that has happened, which is so, I think is, I get chills and shivers when I look at all these videos that been released by the DOJ. Good for them for releasing this, but they also deducted a lot of things. There's also claims that President Trump was involved. If that's the case, he needs to be impeached if he was involved, and if any wrongdoing has happened. I don't think anything will happen in America. I feel like other countries have taken action. The UK, the France have taken a lot of actions against people that were involved in this scandal with Epstein, especially after the 2009 conviction, which is so daunting. And I mean, you can have an excuse saying that, oh, I shouldn't get involved. I didn't know anything about it. But later on, like, you got to know about it, and then why did you keep on communicating with them? And it's funny, Bill Gates said that he talked to Epstein because he thought that he could bring in more money to the Gates Foundation. This is so ridiculous. And then we also saw, oh, my favorite podcaster, Jay Cal, getting involved. He gave a explanation saying that it was just for the purpose of, networking. I believe Jay Cal. I mean, why would you contact? That's the whole point. Even after, I know he was a New York elite and everybody was involved, but his scandal, everybody knew about his scandal. And why would you associate with such person after knowing that in tech world people know a lot of things more quickly, as I pointed out before, than the rest of the world. And you can't give that excuse knowing that you communicated with him, someone who has been convicted in 2000, and he got this sweetheart deal. I don't know what the fuck was that deal, and he should have been in prison, never left the prison. He was able to go home. Even in 2019 he was there. He had a weekly visit home. What kind of visit it is? Like, this shows that there's a famous quote I said last week, which, like, if you are a rich person, and if you have done if you are a rich person and a pedophile, or and rape people, you can be freely gone. But if you come to this country illegally, you get deported. That's so ridiculous, like, to see how injustice it is. And all comes down to money, and when you have money, you can get away with it. That's the reality of life, which I learned last weekend, saying that if you have money and power, you can do all the wrongdoing in this world and escape, and the society will say, fuck it, it's fine. It's like that, so bad. Like, nobody's felt accountable in America. In a lot of other countries, people are getting into accountable. Today, Keir Starmer released a big apology. I think it's good leadership from his part, saying that Mendelssohn, he didn't know about Mendelssohn's affairs or connections with Epstein before he appointed him to the UN. And also with relation to the UN, like, UN has this whole hypocrisy. Here's my question: that they got money from the Gates Foundation. A lot of agencies got money from the Gates Foundation, including UNICEF. So UNICEF has to be investigated. What was UNICEF involved in any of this shenanigans? You don't know. UNICEF is United Nations Children Fund. Like, those things have to be really carefully spoken about, because they were heavily involved. And UN Women taking money from, like, where was this moral standing? Yes, you guys need money, but pathetic to see that a global international organization like the UN going out and still receiving money, even after knowing that Gates have been engaged with a convicted pedophile after in 2009, which is so bad. You can say, oh, we need the money. Like, come on, you have to have some moral standard here, and to be investigated. I don't know how many people from the UN are involved in this scandal. I probably need to look into the list and see so much of names and everything that is going through. Deepak Chopra, oh man, this idiot, this buffoon, like, talking about mind and everything. Once, like, whoa, the girls are cute. Like, God. Man, so many, these people that I thought were good people outside are so much evil within them. Like, there's no doubt about it, and it's just so kills me and gives me shivers when I look at all these things. Well, that's enough of Epstein. Hopefully, people get accountable. People are thrown into jail, and victims get their justice heard in America. In other countries, people are doing it, but in America, it should be doing. And another thing we should appreciate that has happened in the last weekend is that Nick Shirley, who has been the independent journalist, has discovered that 18% of U.S. Home healthcare billing was one county. Do you know which county it is? The entire United States. 18% of United States healthcare that expired in the beginning of this year was done in Los Angeles County. The mayor of Los Angeles County should be accountable. Karen Bass, governor of California, Governor Newsom, Gavin Newsom, or President Trump's called Newscom, has to be accountable. 18%. Imagine, guys, 18%. That's more. In California, in Los Angeles, it's like 2.5% of the United States population having to take 18% of your money and my money that we pay into the tax. Unbelievable. And the main cases are that coming with hospice and home healthcare agencies. Bad. This guy should be felt accountable, which is like there are 130 1923 hospice and healthcare home agency in Los Angeles only. This should be alarming. I don't know where is Karen Bass, where are the people taking actions. I have seen a lot of people that got involved is filthy as rich with all these people. I'm looking and wondering, and it has amounted of $3.5 billion of fraud every year in this county. That's just severe. God, it's just unbelievable how much things that has been unfolding. A lot, bro. And then we also have like 1,500 patient. One physician has been highlighted for billing Medicare for $120 million. One physician. I don't know how on earth he can do all those things in one single year. $120 million of one physician has received billed 1,900 patients for $120 million. Unbelievable. How many patients did he take care of each day? Like, the other 365 days. I mean, 2 patients a day, 3. Wow, he must be working without any break or holidays. This needs to be discussed. The spike has come, suspect of fraud unfolding in the past several years, and then Nick Shirley went in and just exposed a lot of things that has been happening. This is bad. This is why I sometimes believe the Democrats are full of shit sometimes, where they give all the money away and people steal it. I want to know who are those people. I want to make these people accountable, which is the most important thing. And then if they have stolen money from our tax money, they should be felt accountable at all levels. We also have Nick Shirley in California. Nick, if you're listening to this, let me know, man. What do you need? And I'll be happy to drive you around for all these places. So with that, we also have a partial government shutdown. Hopefully, President Trump will sign the bill today to open it up. It's all done and dusted and it's in his table. Probably today he signs it and the government reopens. I think 10 out of 11 bills have been said okay, and the 11th one is 11 out of 12 was agreed, and the 12th one is particularly, I think they will argue for the next 2 weeks to figure out what they wanted to do with the money. So the next thing I want to talk about is that Laura Fernandez wins Costa Rica's race, and she's a right-wing president for the first time. What's happening in Costa Rica? She won the election 48.3% polling vote February 2nd. She represented Sovereign People's Party, the successor movement to ongoing President Rodrigo Chavez, and also won a legislative majority with 31 of 51 seats along with her party. So they have a majority in Costa Rica. I think the Senate seat they have 57, and out of 57 she won 37. Why it does matter? The thing is that her win confirms a broader right of voter shift in Latin America's politics, where you can see following similar moves in countries like Chile, Bolivia, Argentina, Honduras. The whole world is moving towards more conservative. I think the liberals fucked it up so badly because they want to give away free stuff. Like, I understand some of the things that you can give away, but some of the things you do, people get misused. Look at America. They gave Medicare. They stole the money. 18%. Like, just imagine going through your mind, $3.5 billion a year has been frauded in just LA County. That's what you need to think about when you realize how much money when do you want to give money away freely in terms of programs and social programs. This is what happens, and that's where the whole world is moving towards more right. I like it. I think it will neutralize the world, because for the last 25 years it's been left, left, left. If you are a center left, I'm okay, but don't go far left. And that's where you cause a big, big, big problem. And that's where you see the divide, and that's where you say what do you call talking back, and that's where you see people taunting at each other. That's why you see name calling, fascist, blah blah blah, back and forth and back and forth. It happens. I think it's really important for us to not do that, and also come to a common sense. Like, I like the President Trump's theory of saying that core of common sense, like where core common sense was established in the last election in America. And hopefully we will talk about it, the midterms in the next episodes, but there's a lot of big turmoils happening. Let's go to UK. Keir Starmer just went to China, came back and made a great deal with the United States, United Kingdom, and China had agreed to have a lot of trade agreements, and there's a big delegation has gone to with Keir Starmer, and they have pledged investments, $15 billion in several years from AstraZeneca. They also have tariff cuts have been agreed. So UK and China are going to reduce their tariffs for each other, especially on UK's products like whiskey, so people can have more access in Chinese economy. And they also agreed to develop a long, stable, comprehensive strategic partnership between the UK and China, and they also wanted to restore proper diplomatic relationship. They already have it, but they want to make sure they have a strong relationship. And they also announced that China Pop Mart announced plans to set up a regional hub in London, and open numerous retail outlets in Europe. So in the last, you guys know what happened in Davos. Trump went and messed up the whole EU. They are all angry at us, so now they are moving towards more China, building more relationship with China. That's also a good thing. I think you don't have to be dependent on one country. I think it's more open. It's more good to say that you're depending on many other countries. As any businessman, you're depending on many other vendors, not just one person. If one person bails out, then it all gets fucked up, right? So we also have US and India making a trade and tariff deal over Russian oil. So Modi has agreed to buy American oil, and he also has agreed that President Trump announced this major announcement, which United States, they will reduce Indian's tariff for Indian imports as much as from 50% to all the way down to 18%. So that's a good thing for India. I think what I believe in this tariff war in the past year or so, I think the country that's winning is India. India has been playing a great ball game here. They are playing so hard, and they're using this vacuum to fulfill EU's needs, to fulfill United States need, and then also still maintain a relationship with China, which is the most important part for them. And India's economy is going to grow big. I feel like they would be the third largest economy sooner or later, maybe the second largest economy, and United States can get kicked back to the third position or second position. So we don't know. A lot of things are happening, and I think India could be playing a huge role, is playing a huge role, and a lot of Indians are going to get so rich. Good for them. I would say this deal that they cut with America is nearly worth $500 billion of US product will be going, and they also agreed that India agreed, according to President Trump, to halt importation of Russian oil and to shift from purchasing previously around 1.2 million barrels of oil per day. So then to buy 500 billion worth of US product, including energy, technology, aim to rebalance the trade. And President Trump said this will also put pressure on Russia so that it could also end to the war that's happening in Ukraine, that will come to an end. Finally, we also saw that Rafah crossing has been opened partially in Gaza. That's a great thing to hear, and people are coming out. A lot of presidents are moving in and moving out with limited key humanitarian breakthroughs led tied to ceasefire efforts. I think it's a good thing. Gaza is moving. Trump announced the and let's let you know, FYI, the chairman of the I mean no the Tony Blair is also part of the Epstein file. He should be resigned. I don't think he needs to be on that part of the whole board piece, whatever the thing that President Trump created. We also That's a good thing for people in Gaza. I think a lot of things are happening, and I think if this maintains and if everything does, if Hamas gives up the military, I believe we might be having a shot at having a two-state solution. I keep on saying this, people. The only time there ever time that you will have an opportunity to have a two-state solution during the presidency of Donald Trump. I'm repeating this again and again. The only time you will have a two-state solution opportunity closer as you can only during this presidency. So make sure that's happening for people who are listening out here. We also have the Super Bowl is happening on Sunday. We got the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots playing in San Francisco, which in California apparently, and they're going to have the best weather. People are predicting that it would be the Seahawks win the Super Bowl. So congratulations for both of them. Hopefully, one of the other team wins. And they also have two halftime shows. If you don't like Bad Money, Turning Point USA is launching a new halftime Super Bowl with Kid Rock, Least Bryce. I love Least Bryce, and all those people. And I think country artists are going to bang this shit, which will be amazing. And also, the Super Bowl, Bad Bunny is going to be performing. Oh, the one thing I want to say, a lot of things have happened during the Grammys. It's so evil things that people are trying to be. There's so much hypocrisy happen. Everybody calling out ICE, and then I saw Billie Eilish saying no one is illegal in a stolen land, and apparently her house in LA is in a stolen land. I don't know what that says. She need? I think she needs to sell the house and leave the house if she really truly believes what she said on the Grammys. The Grammys was the people made a lot of political statement full of shit, and they should have just said thank you. Nobody mentioned God. I mean, they are already evil people, I believe. So if they're part of this whole satanic bullshit that they have, only kudos to my man Jelly Roll talking about God and faith. I think it's very important, guys. It's very important for us when you're living in a time like this. We need to go towards God. I don't care which religion are you from. Make sure you love the God. Make sure you pray for God in whatever the form you believe the God is, which is the most important thing. I think Satan is now winning. I don't want that. I think in this way, in this game of in this whole world, I believe Satan is laughing his ass off and trying to look at the humanity and say, you guys are dumb fuck idiots. So I believe that's what would have been happening. It's happening, I think. I also think that you have to also be very careful of what you do, people who you want to surround yourself. Think about what has happened to Epstein file, what has happened to people that are associated with Epstein and now really got fucked up. And lastly, I want to say that these are the things that are really important, which is that be good, take care of your neighbor, and make sure that you all have a wonderful weekend. And I'll talk to you soon next week. Thanks for joining Every Degree Matters. I am your host, Saffran Mehnar.